It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Nothing like the scent of Elysium in the morning.
So what is going on, YouTube? It's me, MajorAimless, back with another build for you. Today we are going to be looking at my Chalupa, or ACOLYTE of Chayula, running Last Lament with our million tooltip damage Requiem. It's been an amazing build. I would say my favorite build this league. This build is extremely tanky, extremely good damage. It does obviously need a few uniques to work, but it has some good tech behind it, and it is a lot of fun to play. So the first thing is we're gonna be using the Last Lament crossbow. You guys are probably familiar with this one. There was a good lich build for it a couple leagues ago before it got nerfed, that people were running. Very strong crossbow. Basically two things with it. The one thing is you never have to reload as long as you can sacrifice life to reload instead. And then you also get an ability called Requiem, which basically just turns it into a machine gun of death. So to take advantage of Last Lament, we're gonna be running some Reverie tech here. We're gonna be running Reverie with Chevron's Satchel. So Reverie makes it to where your life flasks are always on, but you can't use them anymore. And then it cuts down the amount of recovery they give you by 40%. I think goes up to 50. This is a pretty well rolled one. This gives us permanent life recovery, and what this is going to do is this lets us use Last Lament. I chose to do Explosive Shot here, and as you can see, my life is going to move every time I click the trigger, and then immediately just go right back to full. So I can just hold down the Explosive Shot button and shoot forever. The second part of the tech with Reverie is we're going to be using Chevron's Satchel. Chevron's Satchel makes it to where life flasks also recover energy shield. So by doing this, we take our always on life flask, which you'll see we have a pretty good rolled one here, and the remove mana is free on this, just in case you're wondering. That is going to give us both our life regen and our ES regen. So we're sitting at 910 life recovery per second and 910 energy shield recovery per second. As you can imagine, that makes us extremely tanky. The last one we're going to be using is Original Sin. I did this because I wanted to take advantage of Archon of Chayula. I'm just going to call this Chalupa from now on because it's easier for me to say. So they got Archon of Chalupa, and basically as you do chaos damage, this thing's going to gain glory. You can click it, and when you click it, it's going to spawn chaos twisters. The twisters are actually pretty strong. And unlike other storms in the game, they chase down enemies. So it's really nice because they cast and then they go after guys. They don't just sit where they're casted at. The other thing you get from this is it is going to give you 20% more physical and chaos damage when it's on. So just by clicking it plus with their own hit. So just by clicking it, you're going to get quite a bit of damage on top of the twisters themselves. So that's pretty much tech-wise how the build works. Like I said, you're gonna be able to run around casting Explosive Shot constantly, and then when you actually run into a strong enemy, you're going to hit Requiem, and it's going to turn your shot into this. Now, as you'll see, it shoots a lot of bolts, and they all kind of hit the ground in a random pattern. But if we build this right, we get a lot of overlap, and that's where the damage comes in, because all these bolts overlap each other. We're getting multiple hits, and you are just going to delete everything that exists in the game. You're going to be using Requiem on single target. You're going to be using Explosive Shot on clear, and then Archon whenever you need. Now, I can't just pop Archon here because I have to do chaos damage for glory, but if you look at the beginning or the end of the video, you'll see me popping it. It's the big purple twisters flying everywhere. There's two more things that we're going to be using, and so that's going to be Siege Ballista with Rite of Restoration. Rite of Restoration is granted to us from the Reverie chess piece, and basically what this does is it's going to increase our defenses as we use mana inside of it. So it works just like Sigil of Power, but it's going to be defensively oriented. So what we're going to do, because obviously we don't use mana, that's where Siege Ballista comes in. Siege Ballista is going to give us two things. It's going to give us Withering Touch, so it's going to put Wither on people for us, but it also costs mana to use. And what this is really nice for is just when you get to bosses, you got a few seconds of preloading as the boss is coming out and getting ready to be attackable. So you'll see I have 6,000 ES right now. If I put down Restoration and then I start casting my totems, you'll see my ES is now at 9,794. Okay. And as long as I'm staying inside of this, it's going to stay that until the Rite of Restoration falls off. So this is a pretty nice, just extra padding when you get into a boss room, or if you're fighting a pinnacle or something like that. Throw that down, throw down your ballistas. It's going to ramp up and then just go to work. As far as gear goes, you just want to prod jammy here. If you can get crit on it, I have retained glory on mine. It was purely accidental, but it works really well for what I'm doing. And then for your other ring, just, you know, reses as you need it, any damage you can get on there. Boots, gloves, same thing. We're just going full ES. Any reses, any damage you can get on your gloves, flat. The helmet, you'll notice I have a transmog here. This is not actually a unique helmet. It's just a full energy shield helmet. As pretty much always when I'm on this side of the tree, I like to hit Subterfuge Mask, which gives us 1 evasion per every 1 ES on our helmet. So 454 energy shield from this, but we also get 454 evasion from this as well. For our flask, it is important to try and get as much life recovery here as you can. Just max it out. As you can see, I did increase life recovery and I did remove from mana. That's a pretty strong one. We have a tier 2. You can get a little better, obviously. Now, we're using Lava and Gagas over here, which, again, we don't really need mana. This just helps us with the regen when we're using Siege Ballista, but it also lets us use this damage node here, which is increased damage during flask effects. So it's just an always on flask, which means this node is always on for us as well. Attack speed and damage during flask effect. For your gems, we're going to be running, first we're going to have Into the Breach and Archon of the Chalupa. These are both from the Ascendancy. On Into the Breach, I'm running Harmonic Remnants, Remnant Potency, and Herbalism 2. So Harmonic Remnants and Remnant Potency are just going to make our remnants from Chalupa stronger and easier to pick up. And then Herbalism gives us 50% increased life recovery from Flask while supported skill is active. And as we've talked about, all of our life recovery comes from Flask. So using this in conjunction with On the Tree, we're going to be using this node here, which is 20% more life recovery from Flask, as are these nodes. They're all 10%. And then we're going to go through this side here, which is another 20% from Flask and another 10% on each side. Altogether, that's what gets us the 910 regen per second, which again is very strong. For Archon of the Chalupa, we're going to be running Prolonged Duration, Chaos Attunement, Magnified Area 2, Colon Strike 2, and Cold Attunement. Now we are running 2 attunements here. There's probably something better you can switch out for Cold Attunement. This is just what I ended up putting in there. I did not fine tune this. Basically we want Chaos Attunement, so we're pumping as much chaos damage as we can. Cold Attunement obviously is not going to get as much of that because of the less non-chaos damage from Chaos Attunement, but Cold Attunement doesn't decrease chaos damage in the slightest, so it is extra damage for free, just not as much as it normally would be. On Requiem, we're going to run Chaos Attunement, Cold Attunement, Magnified Area, Rapid Attacks, and Close Combat. Now, Close Combat is obviously determined on how close you are to the enemy, but I find generally I'm closer than farther away with this build, so it tends to work pretty well. I haven't put anything in Rite of Restoration. We would throw Duration in here or Magnified Area. For Explosive Shot, which is going to be our primary form of clear, we're going to use Multi-Shot, so we're shooting out 3 rockets per click. Rapid Attacks 2, Magnified Area, Chaos Attunement, and Close Combat as well on this one. Siege Ballista, we are again running this for Withering Touch primarily. So we're using Overabundance, Prolonged Duration, Withering Touch, and Conch Area. As you put these out on bosses, you really won't need them anything other than that. We're no longer running Withering Presence. You can turn that on as you want to, but I found that Herald of Ash is kind of needed for our clear with this build. The explosion radius is pretty good from these, but the extra radius from Herald coupled with that just feels much better for clear. And we're running magnified area on Herald, and then Wind Dancer, we're going to be running magnified area 2, blind 2, and maim. Just for when you get hit, it's going to blind and maim enemies as they attack you. For the tree, we have went over this a little bit, but we'll go over it again. On the Acolyte side, for your Ascendancies, you're going to want to grab Into the Breach, which is what's going to give you the Remnants. And then we're going to go down here and we're going to grab, for Choice of Power, we're going to grab All Flames are going to be purple. And so that's going to make all the Remnants give you extra damage gained as Chaos, which is extremely strong. And then up here, we're going to grab 10% to maximum Chaos Resist. Chaos Resistance is doubled. And Archon of the Chayula, which is going to give us the Tornadoes. Chaos Resist doubled is really nice. I mean, look, I'm sitting at 104 right now. 85% actual, 104 on the overcap. And I have Original Sin. And I think maybe like one other Chaos Res somewhere. It's not much, so it's really easy to cap. I mean, as you can see, Original Sin gives me 40+%. For the tree itself, you've checked out my builds before, you've seen me do a lot of this before, but we're gonna go out. Monk tree is always strong, so we're gonna grab the evasion and attack speed through here, grab our attack damage on our evasion here, and go down here and grab our speed, attack damage, subterfuge mask. As I talked about previously, life recovery from flask, this node here is going to be really big for our recovery. And this node here is going to be really big for our recovery. This is going to let us get our life flasks up to a good spot. That way we're getting that, 800-900 regen per second. Past this node, I like to go down here, grab a little bit of evasion, and then grab heavy ammo and careful aim. These are both really good proj damage nodes. So if I'm anywhere in this vicinity, I normally grab those. As I talked about, we're using the Lavangaga's flask. I know it's not how you say it, but we're using the Lavangaga's flask because that's giving us the attack damage and attack speed during flask effects at all time. And then we're gonna go from there. We're gonna go up here, grab some energy shield nodes, ES nodes. We're not gonna need any faster restart nodes like I would normally grab because again, we just have permanent recovery. Once we are up in this region, we're gonna grab our chaos nodes. This is a really good node for us. 53% increased chaos damage, and then you lose max life and energy shield when you use a chaos skill. But because we are not using chaos skills, we don't have to worry about that. We are using Requiem, which is a cold skill, and we are using Explosive Shot, which is a fire skill. Both of these are going to be converted to chaos with Original Sin, so that's why this is effective. And then we're going to grab Spaghettification, which is just kind of a cool node. It does take some of your chaos res down, but again, 104 chaos res with -7% from this node, so not a big deal and a pretty good amount of damage. We grab this attack speed node here, and then we're gonna go up here and grab this other chaos node, which is just increase or damage gained as extra chaos with some increased nodes here. I did mess with the wither node, but I don't think it's really worth it. Heart of the Well, just whatever you can get on this. Damage as extra chaos is gonna be your best in slot, but anything else on top of that's always good. And then I did go over here and grab the Archon buff duration, so that way we can keep our Archon up a little longer. It's 4 points. It is a pretty good increase in time, so I do enjoy that. And then grabbing the ES at the top there. Like I said, this build is probably the strongest build that I've played this league. We're level 95 HCSSF, of course. We're running 20% evasion, 18% armor, and that's before we dodge roll. I think this goes up. Yeah, it goes up to 22. It doesn't seem like a lot, but you couple that with the 910 regen per second on both life and ES, and it is pretty hard to kill. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the overview. Hopefully if you try the build, you enjoy the build. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments or check us out on Twitch. I'm live every single day starting at 8 a.m. PST, twitch.tv/MajorAimless. So please come and check us out. Appreciate you guys checking out the build. Appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe to YouTube. We're trying to increase our YouTube count and get out to more people. So anything you guys do, like, subscribe, comment, it all really helps with the algorithm. So super appreciate that. Appreciate you guys just checking out the video in the first place. And hopefully you guys are having a great league so far. Hopefully you enjoy this build, and good luck out there, Exiles. We'll see you with the next one.
Artillery's an art, and I'm a bloody artist.
Your peace is an illusion. War is the only truth.
Come, Jinga. A new purpose awaits you.
Violence is failure, but I will not fall. Lay down your arms.